We have experienced something people tell us, live it real. Or some of you may have sometimes have that question when you see things around you. Is this real? Is this reality? Because some people have different perception. We look around, we see some people are perceiving things differently from us. They're seeing this world in a different way. Now they're telling this world is like this. You have to, the model of the society. Then we study, then we get a job, etc., and then get a house, a car, like that. Or someone may have a different idea that we have to go live in a village, or live on the farm, or some people have different ideas. So then we begin to question sometimes: Is this reality? Is this how things are supposed to be? So what is the reality? Or am I seeing things in a real way, or am I seeing in an imagined way, imagining? So what is reality? Let's have a look. We're going to discuss these subtopics. Reality versus illusion. This is a topic discussed in the Vedas. Sat and Asat. Then we'll discuss the material energy of Krishna, known as Maya. And then another topic, we are in illusion. The next one, come to reality. So let's look at the term, because I'm speaking about reality. Now, what does that word mean? We have to be on the same page, what we are discussing. We have to agree on definition. What is the meaning of reality? What is the meaning of illusion? So look at this. What is this? Iceberg, yeah? This is what sank the Titanic. Have you heard about that? That ship called Titanic, what happened was the captain was sailing. He saw the iceberg, small little iceberg, no problem. But look at the bottom, you see? And then it sank the ship because he could not see. His perception, his reality was restricted to his eyes, what he could see. There was something beyond that. This is how it works. I have a certain vision. I'm saying this is what I think, like a small child. A 5-year-old child, he has his reality. His reality is whatever I see, I put in my mouth and eat. This is then when we grow up more, we have different ideas. So it depends on our perception. How are we seeing things? So reality is described as the actual situation. This word actual or factual, if you translate to Sanskrit, it comes to vastavik. What is the real situation? What is real? Vastavik. And Sat means also real. Sat, Asat. So we are enjoined in the Vedas, Asato Ma Sadgam. Don't be in illusion. Don't come to reality. Come to the light. Come to the proper situation. There are some people, there are different kind of people in the human society. So unfortunately, some are disturbed mentally. For example, they have something called OCS, obsessive compulsive syndrome. So they'll repeat something again, again, again. And actually, they'll be in normal society. And I have a relative like that. So according to them, we have to repeat the thing. We have to say it. We have to emphasize something that is called OCS, obsessive compulsive syndrome. Or some have something called schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, there are different types, but it's like something, multiple personalities. Or some went through some trauma, and because of that trauma, they are seeing the world differently. In this way, everyone sees the world differently. And sometimes we wonder, so what is the reality? What should we follow? Am I living a real life, or what shall I come to? What shall I follow? Then you have people who are intoxicated. In state of intoxication, their reality, well, is totally different. Intoxication. Some have character issues. They're thinking that, we are I am supposed to be, I am the center of the world. Everything should revolve around me. So in that way, that is their vision of their reality. And we have another thing called persecution complex. That means when I think that everyone is attacking me verbally, persecution complex. So in our modern society, they'll call these people not in touch with reality. But who is to say? Maybe they are the correct one. We are crazy. Who knows? How do we know? So, another point. What happens at night? At night we dream. Now, when we dream at night, we completely forget our name. We forget that we are here in Vellore, in VIT. We forget everything. And we take a totally different identity. Completely we forget everything. So, as we are dreaming, and then we wake up, then suddenly we are confronted with a different reality. Now, this is my name, this and that was an illusion. We completely forget that is not true. Now, again, another point is really what is true, because we forgot that. What about this? Will we forget this also one day? What happens at death? We forget everything, isn't it? Still, we took this as reality, but it won't exist anymore. When we, in Sanskrit, we say Sat Asat, that has a deeper meaning than this reality and illusion. Sat means also eternality, it also means truth. So when someone dies, their whole identity changes. Isn't it? Different mother, different father. Well, of course, we are speaking about reincarnation. So different mother, different father, different country, different name, different interests and hobbies. So what happened? We accepted that reality. Now what happened to that? We're not accepting that anymore. So in this way, an intelligent person will question that, so what is the reality? And I should find a state from which I don't change, because this will change. This material world is known as Ashashvatam, means everything keeps changing. But that is very disturbing to us. We like to have our identity, our life, everything. So we want to have that. So we don't want to be changing with this material world. What about now? Is this reality? You're seeing me, I'm seeing you. And if I ask, who are you? What is going on? Is this a dream? Maybe you'll wake up suddenly. Just now, you'll all wake up. Alarm clock when it rings. Oh, it was a dream. And then you'll forget everything. So this is the confusion of what is real in this world. You have something called relative reality and absolute reality. At the moment, we are in a relative reality. For now, this is real, but then after death, it will change. So it's not really real. What about ant or animal? Animals, what is their reality? A small ant has his own reality. A small child. So and then another question is, do all of us have a separate identity, reality? Maybe it's not that there's one reality. We are saying, okay, let's come to this understanding. Maybe no, everyone has their own idea. Some people say that. So is it like that? Okay. So now let's find out the truth and let's look at a pure source of knowledge to understand this question about reality and illusion. Because actually we are a little disturbed. We may not be able to point it out, but if we are not properly understanding what's going on in this world, it's a kind of disturbance for us. So we are going to look at some knowledge, some sources, and find this answer. Some people write books. They say, and they give idea what is the reality. But then our question is, are you in reality? You're telling us. Like someone as I mentioned in last class, someone is drowning, another guy is drowning. I'll save you, you're drowning. You have to be out of the water and save me. Either you need a ship or a helicopter. Not in the water, then you can pull me out. But people write these self-help books themselves. They're not clear about what is the actual reality. We want a pure source of knowledge. Okay. So Now let's look at this idea, because this idea of illusion and what is the reality, it's come in many movies also, isn't it? In film, they show this is real, this is unreal, this person was dreaming, or he was in an alternative state of reality. Okay, but now we have in the Vedic literature the concept of Maya. This is an energy of Krishna known as a material energy, which covers us. Okay, let's look at the Maya energy. And we are going to take information from the Vedas, Vedic knowledge. Now, why are we taking information from Vedic knowledge? As I said, if I want a knowledge, I want to get a source of knowledge which is not itself an illusion. All the people are in illusion. We are all deluded. How are we going to give knowledge? But the Vedas is known as Brahmatma Vishaya, spiritual knowledge, and it's said to be perfect knowledge because it has a divine origin. In Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration of Ajamil Lila. Have you heard of this? The Ajamil Lila. Ajamil was a Brahmana who used to practice all his duties properly, spiritual duties. And then he fell into bad habits. He got attracted to a prostitute and divorced his wife and married this prostitute. And he lived with her, and then he degraded and did all sinful activities. So as time went, he became old. He had many children. The youngest was called Narayan. So at the time of his death, because he had sinned so much, the messengers of Yamaraj came, Yamadutas. So when they came, he got afraid and he shouted his son's name. What was the son's name? Narayan. When he shouted Narayan, if someone is dying and shouts Narayan or Krishna, then Vishnu Dutas come. So they came and they are more powerful. So it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, Itihasam, it is a history. This happened in a place called Kanauj, which is still there. So when the Vishnu Dutas came, they stopped the Yamadutas, and the Yamadutas said, "What are you doing? This person is sinful. We have a duty to perform." The Vishnu Dutas, "You cannot say that because he chanted Narayan." So by force, Yamadutas tried to take him, but the Vishnu Dutas were more powerful and stopped them. And then the Vishnu Dutas challenged the Yamadutas that, what is your understanding? Why are you taking him? So they explained what is sin, what is pious action, what is sinful activity, what is pious activity, pa, punya. While they were speaking, Yamadutas explained one point. They said, Veda Narayan Sakshat. The Vedas are directly Narayan. So if someone follows the Vedas, then they're said to be following Narayan. So in that case, they cannot be taken away by Yamaraj if they're following properly. So this understanding that what are the Vedas and how it's not different from Narayan, we can understand that the Vedas are divine, spiritual origin. And because of that, if we take knowledge from the Vedas, it's perfect. Okay, let's look at this, the Maya energy of Krishna. Sorry, question? Okay, so what happened to Arjuna? What happened was because Vishnu Dutas were more powerful, the Yamadutas had to leave. In fact, they were chastised. They were attacked physically. So they went back to Yamaraj. They asked him, what's going on? We thought you were God. We thought you were in charge. Then Yamaraj gave a whole series of prayers, which is in 6th canto of Bhagavatam, explaining that no, Narayan is supreme, and explained everything. And as for Ajamil, he was given another chance. So as soon as he woke up, because now that was called NDE, near-death experience. As soon as he came to consciousness, he understood what happened. It was real. So immediately he changed his ways, he renounced and went to Haridwar. In Haridwar, he practiced sadhana properly and came to spiritual perfection. Then he got liberation. This is explained in series of verses. And there's a book here called Second Chance. small book where this is summarized in a story form. We'll see it in the book table up after this class. You can look at it. So he got saved. No, he was not punished because, you see, he chanted Narayan. So the Vishnudutas came. Now all his sins, of course, he was supposed to be punished. But when he woke up, he renounced, he gave it up and took bhakti immediately. Now, when someone takes Diksha or starts the process of bhakti, all their past sins are destroyed. And if they don't repeat them, then it's accepted as, it's relieved. This is in Bhagavad Gita. There's in chapter 18, verse 66, where Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all other process of worship. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender to me. And then, aham tam sarva papebhyo. I will destroy all your sins. Don't worry about your path. Aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshaishnami. And I will liberate you. So this is the understanding of bhakti. Whatever we have done, if we give it out, we give up those bad habits and take up the process of bhakti, then the past is forgiven. So he was forgiven, Vajaman. In fact, regarding this, I was speaking about Yamaduta, just a side point. There was a nurse who joined ISKCON in Czech Republic. You know Czech Republic? So the capital, I think, Prague. ISKCON Prague. So one person came from Prague to India and I met him. I was speaking with him and he told me this story that one nurse joined the movement of ISKCON. How did she join? Because she was a nurse, she saw many people dying. Whenever they were dying, they used to shout, "Who is that? They look so bad, they're coming after me, stop them." And then this happened so much, they give it some clinical psychological term. This person is seeing some illusion, he's about to die. Then she read Second Chance, she realized these are Yamadutas. And no one has any information except the Sanatan Vedas. So she took the part. Okay, so we are discussing now Maya energy of Krishna. And my point in telling this story was that the Vedas are perfect because they're coming from a divine source. Okay, can I request everyone to move front because more people are coming. They're not able to. So if I'm going to find reality, I have to get a pure source of knowledge, which is divya, which is spiritual, not subject to the illusion of this material world. So we are going to follow the Vedas. Okay, now let's look at it. We have information from Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads about an energy of Krishna that deludes us. This is called Maya. Krishna speaks about his Maya Shakti. Devi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. So as actually in this creation, all energies have a personality who's controlling that energy. We don't have this information in modern education, but for example, the sun is controlled by a personality, the wind, and they're not persons like us, they are superior. Vayu, Chandra, Indra, they have superior bodies and capabilities. So Maya is controlled by Maya Devi, also known as Durga. So even this word, in Sanskrit, words themselves have deep meaning, isn't it? Who knows what is Maya? I mentioned here once. What is the meaning of Maya in Sanskrit? If you break up the term, huh? Ma, ya. In Sanskrit, what does ma mean? Ma. Ma Shucha, verse in Bhagavad Gita. Ma means no or not. Ya. Ma. Ya means this. These are everyday terms that Sanskrit people use when they speak. So Maya means not this. In other words, this is not the reality. This is the meaning of Maya. That what we are conceiving as real is not really the actual situation. So Bhagavad Gita tells us about this energy. And one more thing Bhagavad Gita explains in chapter 15 is that this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Bhagavad Gita speaks about another nature, Parastasmatu bhavo anyo avyakta avyaktahat sanatana. This material world is always changing. Things are changing. There's a transformation. There's Bhutva, Bhutva Praliyate. There will be Pralaya one day, and there will be again creation, Srishti. And Bhutva, Bhutva Praliyate. Bhagavad Gita says material world, it destroys and creates again and again. But then it says, Paras tasmatu bhavo anya. There's another nature, and this nature does not destroy. It is superior to this. So Bhagavad Gita hints about a spiritual world. In that place, the nature is different than what we are seeing here. There, everything is perfect, permanent. Everything is permanent. Okay, so in this material world, who is managing? Maya Devi is managing, Durga. And this word Durga, as I mentioned in Sanskrit, Sanskrit has very deep terms if you study. What is the meaning of Durga? Durga. Durga can mean fought, or it can mean difficult. Durga means something difficult. This is Sanskrit. So Durga means that energy which you cannot overcome. You cannot overcome the illusion. It's very powerful. Durga. So, although we are speaking about this personality, Maya, Durga, actually, she's not independent. Durga is herself under a superior energy. Just like we know, the wind, the sun, everything is under another energy. Nothing is independent. Otherwise, how will the universe work? She is not independent. It's mentioned in Brahma Samhita that she functions under Vishnu, under Krishna. And one of her names is Vaishnavi. Vaishnav means somebody who is a devotee of Vishnu. Vaishnavi is a female devotee of Vishnu. So another name of Durga we understand is Vaishnavi. So she is deluding the whole world. All the souls in this material world are deluded. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita explaining this. Okay, no, this is in Brahma Samhita. So here it's explained, this is Sanskrit, Brahma Samhita. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I know the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. So she is known as Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga. Chaya. Chaya is shadow, isn't it? So look at this. My hand is here, the shadow is there. The shadow must follow the hand. It cannot act otherwise. So in this way, she is the shadow of the Chit potency. She will follow Govinda. And her task is that she will act to delude everyone in this material world. Now we can see in her hand she has weapons. Why? It's mentioned in Vishnu Purana that Durga makes us suffer. The jivas who have come to this world, actually we did some mistake, we'll look at it. We came here and we are not in a state of reality. We have been covered, our knowledge has been covered, our memory, intelligence has been covered. And we see she has weapons. Why? This is denoting that she makes in material world, everyone will suffer. This is the nature of the material world. This is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Mamopete tu kaunteya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam dukha alayam. Does anyone know what is Granthalaya? What does it mean? Like place of Granth. Do you know what is Himalaya? Hima means ice. So Himalaya, place of ice. Shikshalaya, cool, place of sun. Shiksha. What is Dukkhalaya? Dukkha, place of suffering, isn't it? Place of suffering. Dukkhalaya. So Bhagavad Gita speaks about this world as Dukkhalaya, place of suffering. The purpose of this world is to make us undergo suffering. But we can come out of it. We'll look at that. So now, this energy, Durga, known as Maya, covers us. Okay, and we'll explain why this is happening. Okay, and so we cannot trust our mind. Now, if we want to say what is reality, I want to understand. We cannot know why, because our intelligence, our mind, and senses have been covered. They are not having full faculties. I'll give an example. If a king has many ministers, the ministers are advising the king. He'll have a minister who's good in advising about war, another one about trade, etc. Now, supposing the minister found out all these ministers have been compromised by the enemy, he'll not take information from them. They'll ruin him. So one who wants to find out reality, one wants to come to the perfect reality. Vedas explain he has to abandon his mind, intelligence, senses, and take up senses of Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. See what they are saying. We have to see through Shastra. With our eyes, we will see something, but that is not the fact. We cannot judge it. We cannot trust our senses because we're in a state of illusion. So one illusion cannot give knowledge. Now, if I want to come to reality of this world, I have to take perfect source of knowledge. So I should know that it will not come from me, from my own senses. So now Vedas explain a lot about Maya, especially Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. And it's pervading the whole creation. But we can be here but not affected by this illusion. We'll see about that. So this material energy, illusory energy, it has covered everyone. We are in illusion. So this is the nature of Maya. Now we are affected by Maya, Maya, not this. This is not the reality. What we are seeing is not reality. As I mentioned, they made many movies and books out of this, but a lot of them, the source is Bhagavad Gita. Now look at this verse. This is coming from Bhagavad Gita. Here clearly it's mentioned by Krishna in chapter 7, text 13. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, means Satogun, Rajagun, Tamogun. The whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Everyone is deluded by the Triguna, three modes, Satogun, Rajagun, Tamogun. Maybe that's something we don't understand now, but we just understand that all the three worlds, that three worlds means there are hellish world, heaven, and middle planets. Bhur, Bhuva, Swar. Bhurloka, Swargaloka, and Bhuvarloka. All the worlds, there are many planets on the different systems. It's explained in our chart here. This is Vedic cosmology, proper understanding of this universe. So they are saying that even in Swarga, in Narak, and the middle planets where we are, everyone is in illusion. Nobody really knows what is going on. Bhagavad Gita is saying this very clearly. Gita is explaining. And look at this picture. Is using to denote this. The understanding for this is you see these two people, they're being controlled by guna. The three gunas are on top: Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun. Everyone is under a certain gun. Now, what is Sattvagun, Rajagun? When we say that we are in Maya, that means we are affected by this material energy. But some are more, some are less affected. Those who are more affected, they are known as Tamogun. And the nature of such people is lazy, mad, and not able to understand the proper situation in this world. Then those little less affected, they are called in Rajagun, that means mode of passion. So such people, they have less infection, that means they are not like Tamogun, but still they cannot properly figure out this world, what is happening. They dedicate their life to simply enjoying this world, enjoying their body. But those in Sattvagun, it is explained that they are not so much infected by Maya. They have some understanding of what is going on because the infection is less. Just like somebody who has a cold, some has a very bad cold, or not so bad, or very little. So the one who has little cold, not so bad, he still has taste and smell faculty. Other than the smell goes, taste goes, and heating of the body goes when we are very sick. So in this way, everyone is affected, but some more, some less. This is Bhagavad Gita is explaining how we are all infected. All of us have had our knowledge covered. We don't know who we are. None of you, if I ask you, who are you? Why, before you were born, where were you? What is your actual identity? We don't know. We are simply born and we are living. We are born in this country, we take up that culture, we are living. But Bhagavad Gita explains this is not our factual life, this is illusion. The actual reality has gone because we are covered by Maya. So we don't know who we are, why we are existing, who made us, and who made this creation. So we cannot have a proper vision of reality in this state. Now look at this picture. On the top left, what is that? Cat. But actually he's not a cat. You know, this Shiva, if he sees a mouse, what will happen? He'll run after the mouse. Why? He thinks I'm a cat. He's not a cat. He's a soul. He's from Vaikuntha, taken that body. So why is he running after the mouse? Why is he behaving like a cat? Because Maya covered. Now he forgot his identity. Because there are 84 lakh species. Okay, bottom left, there are some people. They'll call themselves British, royal family. They're also servants of Krishna. They're from Vaikuntha. This is not their identity. They are also covered by illusion. You see, Maya is very strong. Krishna says, Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. It's very powerful. Duratyaya, you cannot cross. There's a way to cross, explain later. You see, now here in the middle, there's some people waving a flag on top. So they may say, okay, we're Indian or we are African, whatever. But again, we are souls. Bhagavad Gita explains, we are all souls. Asankhyo, they are unlimited souls in this creation. Some are calling themselves human from this country. Some are calling themselves frog, monkey. All are souls. But Maya is so powerful that this, is it a monkey? I can't see. Yeah, this a mouse. So this mouse will be forced, he'll live underground and he'll eat certain things because Maya conditioned him like this. So they forgot they are covered. In this way, everyone is deluded. But only the human beings can come out of illusion, come to reality, because they have that discrimination, vivek, and buddhi, the level of intelligence to come to reality. Animals cannot. They have to suffer till they come to the human birth after birth. So they forgot their identity. Look at this picture. This is a single person. This person was born. You can see a baby. Now, the person is the same. But what is happening is that this body is changing. We call it growth. Actually, what is growth is a completely change of body. It's not the same body. For example, in the middle, there's a young man and then there's the baby. You cannot say it's the same body. Now we are saying growth. What is growth? Actually, every second one gets a new body. The body changes every second. We cannot see, but if you come after 10 years, then we can see the difference because it changes little. Every second we are changing the body. But the soul is the same. We are not different. We are the same person. What is this telling us? It says that we are not the body. We are not the body. We are the soul. These bodies keep changing, yet we remain the same person. I'm not saying I'm changing. I'm Murari. I was still Murari, and I'll be Murari. But the body keeps changing. Therefore, I am not the body. But as I said, we are in illusion thinking that we are the body. Because of this illusion, neither can I manifest knowledge, nor can I ask anybody else who is in the cycle of birth and death, who thinks he's the body, to give me knowledge. So many self-help books, self-improvement. I'm telling you now, none of them can help. They can't help because they're an illusion. Only Vedic knowledge, which is free from Maya, free from illusion, this can help. Finally, these self-help things, they may help some health benefit, some mental benefit, but to come to pure spiritual reality and truth, perfection, we have to come from perfection. So I'm giving an example here how this person is not the body, he's the soul. But he'll think he's the body, and that's the same for all of us. So this is defective knowledge. If my knowledge is defective from beginning, thinking I'm the body, then I cannot give any knowledge after that. The whole premise is wrong. Okay, so again, we were showing this picture here about Maya, Durga. So actually, we were saying that Durga, Maya Devi, is Krishna's energy. So why does she cover us? Now, this is the answer. The reason that we get covered and we don't have the sense of reality now is because we were in the Parampadam, the Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world. But the Upanishads explain. It says, Shanvantu me Amritasya putra aye dhama divyani dhamani tashtuhu. O you who are situated in Divya Dham, Shanvantu, listen to me. Now you have to go back. This is written in Mundaka Upanishad. So we were there, but we came here. Why did we leave? Because we were meant to serve Krishna, God, in his abode, but we didn't want to serve him. We said, I'll come, I'll enjoy myself. I'll enjoy my senses, I'll enjoy my body. So when we came here, then Maya covered us. Now, why did Maya cover us? To assist us so that we can enjoy. Otherwise, we cannot. If we think, I am a soul, I am a servant of Krishna, I am eternal, I cannot come out of that. But Maya makes us forget that. Now I forgot it. Now it'll put me in the body of this person. And I live my life and I develop new desires. So based on my desire, next birth, I'll take birth in another place. Then I develop new desire. Like this, I'm taking birth again and again. And Maya has covered me. I don't know who I am. I don't understand as a Vaikuntha. I don't understand as a God. I don't understand reality. I'm in a completely different state of existence. So this is the reason that Maya covers. It's actually to fulfill our desire, but our desire is wrong, to go away from Krishna. So it's mentioned also in Bhagavad Gita in one verse. Avrityam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vedin. Actually, we have full knowledge, jnanino, but it's been covered. Avrityam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vedin. That Maya has covered our knowledge now, and our identity, knowledge, and memory got covered. Now, immediate effect is that we think we are all these different living entities, which we are not. We are the soul. So, Shastra says that Maya Shakti makes us suffer. Durga, it's, she holds a Trishul, that is very prominent. So it explains this Trishul, it denotes three things. In one place it says it denotes Sattva, Rajo, Tamogun. Another place it says the three kleshas. Suffering, there are three kinds of suffering. We mentioned last time. Three kinds of suffering: Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adhyatmik. This means suffering caused by my own body, like my mind making me suffer. Suffering caused by other living entities, like mosquitoes, whatever. And suffering caused by nature, by demigod, devatas. So these three things, it's denoting suffering. And so whoever comes here, this Trishul is figuratively pierced. We are being pierced and we are suffering. And even her devotees, even those who worship her, they also suffer. Why? Because she is upset. She's a devotee of Vishnu, that these souls left Vaikuntha, they should go back. So the suffering is to induce us to come to this state of surrender, to come to return. She's known as Vaishnavi, devotee of Vishnu. So this whole branch of knowledge, we are talking about suffering. Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun, there's a lot, it's very deep. It's in Bhagavad Gita. And Sattvagun, we say we should come to sattvic lifestyle, sattvic food, but that's not the final thing. Let me ask you a question. Is it better to be in a prison with golden bars or iron bars? Which is better? They're both prisons. So aim is not, we have to come to a sattvic level, but finally we have to come out of it. This is the proper understanding. So Bhagavad Gita explains about the modes, how to come first on Sattva, then how to come on the spiritual level. This is the explanation. And in chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, this is explained in detail. Of course, more detail is in Srimad Bhagavatam. But look what the first two verses say of chapter 14, because they're explaining about material energy. We said just material energy is explained here. So here, this first verse, this is chapter 14, title Material Energy, about Maya Shakti. Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all sages have attained supreme perfection. Now here, Krishna is saying, I'm going to explain to you knowledge, the best of all. Now we are on chapter 14. This means whatever came from chapter 1 to 13, this is higher. Knowledge of Maya and about material energy is very great. Why? Because it will help us to come out of this illusion. There's no knowledge on Maya except in the Vedas, because nothing is so highly evolved. These knowledge systems, they're not so highly evolved. But the Vedas give detail how we are bound in this world, because we cannot see it, isn't it? Just someone comes to our country, he cannot see the government, but he understands government is in control. Government fully, there's a law, things are there. I cannot see it. Similarly, there is a law, and we break it and we suffer. We cannot see. So that's a problem. But the Vedas are revealing all this knowledge, and if we study, we can come out of this illusion. So here he's saying this is the best of all wisdom. Another thing he says, knowing this knowledge, sages have attained supreme perfection. Understanding how we are illusioned, how our knowledge has gone, and so how to come back to the pure knowledge. This will take us back to supreme perfection. Then in the second verse, he says, Krishna says, by becoming fixed in this knowledge, understanding about material energy, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. In other words, one can obtain a spiritual body. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or dissolution, time of dissolution. So these two verses explains such a superiority of this branch of this chapter 14, just to get attention of Arjuna, because he speaks many things. Now he says, okay, pay attention. I'm giving you the topmost now. So far, whatever I have spoken. So now, as we are in Maya, how can we see or perceive reality? The question is this reality? But I'm saying, the Vedas explain that being in material world, we are not in reality. Our perception, everything has been altered. By the Maya Shakti, our eyes, ears, actually not even that, that's not the problem. Problem is that it says, Indriyanam Buddhir Asya Adhisthana Uchyate. Maya resides in intelligence and mind also. Now what does that mean? That means if I try to process any knowledge, it's defective. I cannot understand. For example, I want to understand what is reality. With what will I use? My intelligence. I cannot. It's compromised. It's illusion. It's an illusion. So how can we perceive reality? We cannot know it with our present covered sense. So we need to come out of illusion to see reality. Bhagavad Gita explains this, and in a deeper way, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Puran says, Vedyam Vastavam Atravast. One should understand through Bhagavatam, Vedyam Vastava, the actual reality, Vastavam Atra Vastu, what is the real substance of this, of the reality. Okay, so to see reality, we have to come out of illusion. Okay, that may take one life or many lives, but at least we can get a theoretical idea how to come out of illusion. Okay, the way to come out of illusion is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. Okay, come to reality. There's a picture here. This picture is a pictorial representation of a verse that's coming from Brahma Samhita. Actually, so there's a chart here. This chart is showing topmost planet, Krishna Loka, Goloka, then Vaikuntha, and then the material world. These are, and the verses on the left and right are depicting that the full description is given of Vaikuntha and entrance and everything, the structure, as well as the material world. Material world is only 1/4 of creation, Shastra explained. 3/4 is spiritual. So now, this that there's a blue color, that is a spiritual light energy. Then there are many Vishnu forms and round things. Those are different spiritual planets. And there's one big planet with a lotus shape that's known as Krishna Loka or Goloka or Gokul. That is where Krishna, he does his Nitya Leela pastimes, Leela. Under that, as it's explained in Brahma Samhita, there's a material world, that is where we are. So we understand there are two worlds. There is a spiritual and a material world. Hint is given in Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavatam goes much more into detail. It explains a lot of details. This material world is temporary and not factual. Not factual in the sense, I am thinking, I look in the mirror, this is me. No, that's not me. I'm thinking I'm the body, but I'm not. And I'm thinking that, okay, I'm working, I'm earning money, but Veda explains, no, whatever, it's just, there's a verse that says, whatever we get in our life is due to our karma. We cannot get even more, one paisa more or less. Everything is in our, what is in the karma. But we are thinking that I'm earning, I'm supporting myself, and sickness and health, everything, even if you take your birth chart, it's written. So the illusion is I'm thinking that I'm supporting myself, I'm having this health, but I have to go through the wheel of time, Kala Chakra. According to, we are born under certain nakshatra, rashi, whatever. That's also because of whatever sin we did in our life or good things. So everything is given to us. But in illusion, I'm thinking I'm controlling this and that. This is a Vedic understanding. So the material world in this way is not factual and it's temporary. Even I think this is reality, then I die, then there's another reality, then I die and I'm born again. This is called relative reality, not param satyam. So this is not factual. So, but there is a spiritual world. Vaikuntha is explained as a place where everything is fixed. There's no change. It remains as it is. There's no birth and death. So Krishna is the overall, it says, Ishwar Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. That he's there are many controllers in planets, in nature, but that Ishwar Parama Krishna, Lord Brahma, who was the first created being, he recited prayers that Krishna is actually creator, maintainer, and destroyer. But he does that under different agencies. They do it for him. So what is our duty? We are souls, Atma. Now, Vedas has been given to us. There's a reason that Maya Mugdha Jeev Nahi Sata Krishna Gyan Jeevera Kripa Kaila Krishna Veda Puran. The Jeev now who is affected by Maya cannot come out on his own. So Krishna has given Ved, Puran to get this knowledge and to come out of this illusion. Asatoma, Sadgama. We should come out of this illusion and come to the proper understanding. I'm a soul, and who is supreme controller, how he created and why he created. So by using the Vedas, we can come to a reality, and if we follow it, we can get a perfection. So we actually belong to the spiritual world in reality, and that is free from Maya and suffering. So we should engage in spiritual activities. Even now in this, what we call Maya Dham, Devi Dham, this material world is known as Devi Dham, then there's Hari Dham and Golok, Vrindavan. So Devi Dham is managed by Durga Devi. But even being here, we can come out of suffering and illusion if we follow bhakti. The process of bhakti can help us. Because Arjun asked after, in the same chapter 14, when Krishna explained about how we are in illusion, this Maya has covered us and the Jiva is suffering, there's a question.
Constantly saying
Suffering. Okay. So you think you're not suffering, is that?
no, there are problems, there are situations,
Yeah.
but I do deal with them. That's not really suffering.
Okay. Supposing we fall off the AC, what will happen?
Be hard.
That's suffering.
Yeah, then I'll turn it on.
So material life is just to adjust things so that we can stop the suffering.
So you're saying in the spiritual world, I want.
There'll be no hot, cold, hunger, thirst, etc. You see, if light is there, darkness is there. So this state is here. There's an opposite state. Therefore, Vaikuntha is known as Vaikuntha. Vai means no, Kuntha means suffering.
You said Viking everything is permanent.
Permanent in the sense,
There's nothing that thing that's changing on that's
where does he say?
just say that the thing that adapts.
Okay, you have to quote it.
I
Okay, and many things. Okay, anyway, it's not your fault. Like many things are coming around and saying this is in Gita, this is in Bhagavatam. You see, I'm giving verses. This is, then we can see that it's proper. So regarding suffering,
and one of the first things you had mentioned the
Yeah.
this Monday. Because
I said about material world is mundane. Yeah, mundane, you see, now we use different words, but I mean it material. Material world. What do you, which verse are you talking about? Mundane. See, which verse is that?
it's second.
Anyway, mundane means material.
It's
No? No, that is, I mean, words can have many meanings. The context I'm using is material, in material sense. Mundane, like we say mundane, mundane world, it's material world. I think that's the one you're referring to.
how like a body creature like a mouse that you take or with a snap consciousness to get over it. But that's its karma.
Correct. Yeah, but yeah, so Maya has created that situation because of the desires of the mouse, previous life. Yeah, the mouse is suffering. He thinks he's a mouse, so he'll run after whatever he does. Mouse do that. Why is he doing that? He's being conditioned to do that by Maya. Now he's not thinking I'm a servant of Vishnu. He's thinking I'm a mouse. He's not a mouse. But because I'm just explaining the force of Maya that makes us think I'm this person, this country, this religion. Actually, we are not. Gita explains we are souls. Okay, coming back to suffering. So the question is, you're saying that there's no suffering.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
doing our karma,
Karma.
not
Going through karma is not suffering. You're saying.
doing our karma. Is not
Doing our karma. No, no, not that. Not doing our karma. Doing karma is duty. I'm referring to anyone who has a material body has to get disease, has to become old, has to die. This is form of suffering. Bhagavad Gita explains. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosh anudarshan. One who perceives the evil of the suffering in birth, death, old age, and disease is in knowledge. In chapter 13. So suffering is all over the world. Therefore, we have insurance companies. In material world, it's inevitable. You're right. In this material world, death is inevitable.
saying that the Krishna is that help to free us from us.
Yeah, because if we practice devotional service, we are coming to that last slide now. He has given, Arjun asked the same question that now you explained about material energy and you explained about suffering. How can we come out of it? Okay, and when he asked that question, Krishna answered this verse. He says, one who engages in full devotional service, in other words, bhakti yogena sevate, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and comes to level of Brahman. In other words, when one does bhakti, then Maya does not act on that person. Maya is only deputed to act on someone whose desire is not to serve God, because he's facilitating his material existence, making him forget his soul. But that itself is suffering. Because if I think I'm a piece of flesh which is going to die, that is suffering because I'm eternal. So anybody eternal doesn't like death to come. Death is something unnatural, we run away from it. But we are forced to go through it if we have a material body. If we do bhakti, gradually our sins are destroyed, and one comes on a level of spiritual realization, and at death we don't take birth again. I'm making it very short and simple, but it's a long narration explaining this. So suffering is in this material world, but we have to come out. How to come out? That's the subject of Bhagavad Gita, to take us out of material existence. I don't know, is it clear? If someone else can answer, or you can ask some other doubt. If I answer the question properly. The whole question was, is this reality? So I'm summarizing now. Bhagavad Gita explains, all of us are an illusion. Trivir Guna Maya, Evi Sarvam Idam Jagat. Everyone in the material world is an illusion. They don't know who they are, why they took birth, who is God. We don't know, because we are covered by Maya. This Maya energy is not meant to cover us, but we got covered because we desired not to be with Krishna. We came from Vaikuntha, we desired, I want to enjoy myself, I don't want to serve God. So the mechanism is that Maya Shakti immediately covers, and we forget I'm a soul. So then we can enjoy whatever we want in this material world. But the downside is suffering comes because we're not in our original environment. We are souls, we have to be in a spiritual environment.
The punishment for not being able, not agreeing to serve Krishna.
It's, you see, punishment, but it's induced by us. It's not really punishment. You see, if you cannot fulfill your desire unless Maya covers you. And when Maya covers you, then we forget our spiritual nature. And that is not good. If I forget my nature, my identity, that's suffering. But that was born of my material desire. Because of my desire, this happened. Based on my desire. Actually, there's a verse. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andakara. Jaha Krishna taha nahi, Maya adhikar. This means where Krishna is like the sun. Wherever the sun is, there's no darkness. So wherever Krishna is, there's no Maya. If we think of Krishna, read about him, discuss effect of Maya goes. So your question is, it's a punishment. It's not really punishment. It is a suffering condition brought about by our own doing, which we can any second let go. If we are not in a spiritual environment, we will suffer. Who left the spiritual environment? We left. We have to go back, then we stop suffering. Bhagavatam explains in one verse, there is no other way to attain peace and happiness till we come back to our original duty of serving God.
Basically, can we say that Maya engages us slowly in the materialistic world? So to get out of that, we need to practice bhakti. So can we say like,
Yeah, the question is that so Maya engages us in this material world. It does in one way. Why? Because we on our own cannot do anything. We are like a spectator sitting in the heart. The body is controlled by the Paramatma seated here. It hears our desire and does everything accordingly. Upadrishtanumanta. He's overseeing and permitting, yes, you can do this, you can do that. So Maya is doing that, but because of our desire, our material desires are being fulfilled. And if the desire changes, immediately in our life, someone will come, he'll bring the source of how to come out. You'll meet somebody, or you'll go to a place, or you'll get a book, you'll get a Bhagavad Gita, and immediately an intervention will come in your life to stop it. And if you immediately take that path, then Sarva Dhanun Parityaja Mamekam Sharan Bhaja Aham Tam Sarva Papibhyo. All the sins are destroyed. And when we begin bhakti, immediately there's a level of happiness and peace that comes almost immediately because Maya withdraws. This is the effect, this is understanding.
So Maya and Krishna cannot exist together.
In the sense that Maya exists behind Krishna. If someone comes and worships God, Maya cannot be there. But if someone turns away from Krishna, goes, technically it's like we say figuratively going behind Krishna, then they'll be attacked by Maya. Jaha Krishna Tana Tahanahi Maya Adhikara. That is it. Yes.
Maya consequence for action.
Is Maya a consequence of our action? Maya energy exists, but in the same way that you see, we have a police force, a prison, but they cannot touch you if you're a law-abiding citizen. But if you do something wrong, they'll come. Then you cannot say, why am I suffering? Why are they coming? And it's not even that the government wants the prison, but there are people like that. Similarly, Maya exists, but it cannot touch a devotee. Somebody who is engaged in bhakti, devotional service, Maya cannot, does not have jurisdiction, does not have any access to that person. It exists anyway, but it'll only attack those who are not in their constitutional position of worship Krishna. It will exist, but we will not be affected. That's why I said, even in the material world, we can be free from suffering and birth and death if we come on that platform, not after death, right here. There's a verse, "Iha yasya haridasya karmana manasmagira vikalasavi avasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate." Jivan mukta means liberated soul. If one engages mind, body, soul in meditating on Krishna and serving Krishna, then we are liberated. We are not part of this material world, technically, although we are here. So it's possible for anybody. There's no limit, whoever the person is. Bhakti has no bar because it's a spiritual process. Our bodies are different, families are different, maybe religion, maybe culture, but bhakti is a duty, is a function of the soul. So the soul can act on a spiritual platform. It doesn't matter what the body is, whatever sin is within anything. Yeah, that was a question Arjun asked. We said how to recognize. It was called Siddha Pragya in chapter 2. Krishna explained how one can become a Siddha Pragya in full knowledge, situated in perfect knowledge. So then Krishna answered. He said a whole series of verses. One of them he said is Vihaya Kamanya Sarvan Bham Sharati Nispriha. Got the second term. So he says that one who doesn't act to satisfy the body, sense gratification. You know, we are impelled that I have to enjoy the body, eat good things, see good movies and all that. But if someone can just remain peaceful and happy without doing that, then we can understand that he's enjoying another happiness, spiritual happiness. But it's rare to be fully, completely, that's rare. But to get liberation, we have to come on a certain platform. We can recognize the guidance is given in some of our books, Bhagavad Gita itself, and a book called Nectar of Devotion, which speaks about science of bhakti.
Chanting God name like Hare Krishna and Hare Rama as Bhakti is enough to set our soul free.
It is in Kali Yuga they say that Harinam eva kevalam, that we can chant, that's all. But the reality is we cannot sit and chant 24 hours. We'll get put off, we'll get bored. So there are different angas of bhakti we can do. If someone can chant Kirtaniya Sadahari 24 hours, very good. But otherwise, like even if we chant 2 hours, then we read Shastra, then we preach, we do different activities. So because of that, there are 9 forms of bhakti we can do. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. That means chant about Krishna, hear about Krishna, Archanam, then go to holy places. There are many. But chanting is enough technically. At least in Kali Yuga, chanting must be there. Among other things, at least the chanting should happen. Now, even if we're doing Bhumi Puja, it's not successful until we chant Hare Krishna. We do Yajna, that the chanting Harinam must be there for anything to be successful. It's the main Yuga Dharma. So this Yuga is the main thing. Yes.
So, yeah. So we do information like the sun. So it's just like darkness cannot exist independent of the sun, but darkness only exists in the place where there is no absence of the sun. So in that way, they are opposites, but they are not independent.
Yeah. Absence of Krishna consciousness is darkness. Yeah, correct. So if there's one more question, you can, yeah.
So my question, why should someone who takes this process of bhakti be forgiven of all previous sins?
Yeah.
How is this fair? And some may see it as being kind of unfair because we
Right.
do so many bad things. Or for instance, in case of example, how many things that
Okay, how is it fair that someone has been relieved of all sins? That happens even in material world. Someone is in jail, has to suffer, has to go through his life term, then suddenly he gets a pardon by the prime minister or someone. It's if That's one. Another also is there's something called time off for good behavior. That the prisoner, if he starts to behave properly and does everything nicely, they say, okay, you go. You don't have to finish your term. That's a concept not only in spiritual terms, we see it in material. And what is the whole purpose of the punishment? Is to rectify the jiva, soul. I mean, not really punishment, it's like purification of the soul. Like, I stole from someone. So now I have to suffer my things being stolen from me. And so many other things I have to suffer. But if I give up the mentality of sin and say, I'll surrender to Krishna, then what is the purpose of that reactions? The purpose was to rectify. He's already rectified. Then there's no need. The purpose of him going through the suffering is that he has to become purified and understand properly, come to a level of sinlessness. But if you already become sinless, he said, I will worship Krishna. This is highest platform. So there's no need for him to go through that. The purpose has been fulfilled.
We are setting a very if you continue. You have it was a presentation, setting an example. So if that person is not to be applied, then if you're not punishment, that's it.
Okay, so here point is we're setting a wrong example. Anyone can do anything, then surrender to Krishna, but it's not easy to surrender. Well, this is what's written.
So that we
It may, you see, to our eyes, some things in the Vedas may not seem like this is correct, but we don't have that perfect vision. We have our, just like law, human law, MLA, the law is determined in the parliament. So they vote a law and make it. But none of these laws are, previously they'll only follow Manu Samhita. And now they keep changing these laws. These are man-made laws, and these are understanding of people. But if we have the proper understanding that what is in the Veda is it's axiomatic. There's a word axiom. Axiomatic means it's taken as truth. Because we assume that it's perfect. And if we say no, we'll decide our own. But we are imperfect beings. We make all sorts of mistakes.
you said axiom. Axioms are notions taken to be true for that. Once it fails, it's changed.
Okay, so has it failed ever? Has the Vedas been disproved or found some mistake? No. Medical field, Jyotish, construction, astronomy, they're using it even today. Fully, they're using the Vedas. But I'll accept if something's found wrong, but it says it's perfect. They're still using it, even medically, in every sense. And so, if it's found to be wrong, but that's the point. Vedas will never be wrong. It's never been found, even now. I give an example, like stool of animals is impure, even our own stool. What we do is, if we pass stool, we take a bath immediately. That's how. And if we happen to touch any stool of an animal, we take a bath. But cow stool is pure. We can lift it up. We don't take a bath. Why? It says in the Vedas. How is that? It's accepted because Vedas say as axiomatic. Later on, when scientists found antiseptic antibiotic properties in cow stool. So we are not perfect. We have defects. We can make mistakes. We are illusioned. We have imperfect senses. If we are going to devise a perfect system to rectify the jiva, it will not be perfect. At some stage, we have to abandon our reason and logic and take the reason and logic of the Vedas. And if we say, how can we trust that? How can we trust anything?
Say that as whole company, right?
Yeah, and by the way, it's been followed for millions of years from Satyayug, being followed. we have to follow something. Right now, you must be following modern society, what they say we do, that okay, we should have vitamin E, it's good, or like you should not have heat because it's cholesterol. So we are following, we have to follow someone and something. My point is, if you follow the Vedas, it's perfect. Ayurveda and whatever. If we follow Vedic knowledge, it's perfect. So we have taken that decision. Even I personally I studied MS in engineering. A lot of us, we were in science, but we understood through logic. We read in the Bhagavad Gita and Prabhupada's books that fine, this world is going on. I mean, but ultimately to get deep answers, we need a perfect source. Vedas are perfect. Humans are not. Scientists, they only use their imperfect senses to come up. That's the proposition. Yes.
Only I had a question like when we were in Vaikuntha, we fell from there.
Yeah.
It's because we developed a desire to enjoy from and Maya assists us to satisfy our desires.
Correct.
Then now if we go to satisfy our desires, if we are able to get it, then we develop lust, and if we are not able to achieve our desire, we
Anger.
develop anger.
Anger. Correct.
So means like why is it like that we are not even able to satisfy our desires? We are
Okay, good. So don't do it. Don't do it. That's our point. We shouldn't do it because there is no satisfaction on material platform. It's like a fire. Bhagavad Gita describes it as a fire. Dushpurena nalena cham. Alena means fire. It's like a fire. You put ghee, it will grow more. More ghee, it will grow. It will grow. And next time you have to do much more to satisfy this desire. We cannot really satisfy senses. It's not theoretically possible. So after some time of many births or in one birth, people give it up. They say, no, we are not going to do this. I'm not getting happiness. But on spiritual platform, immediately we get it. Yeah, but that is how it functions. But actually, there is no material happiness. It's a myth. Because of power of illusion, we are thinking this is something so enjoyable, but it's not. Whatever, analyze what you think is enjoyable. It can turn to a source of suffering. So, actually, in one way, all of you are here because you have some interest in spirituality. Some kind of gyan has come and you're seeking, and you're just inquiring, seeing what is it. Which means you somehow realize that whatever is outside is not so much satisfying. Let me try to get something deeper. Now you're searching, you came here. Already we came to that platform to some extent. Yes. Yeah.
I should just give you certain example. So that but it's not exactly just that. It's more like there are elements who, if they are left free, then they will create disturbance for those who are abiding by law. And they want to live peacefully, but these elements are creating disturbance in the society. So to segregate them, they're kept in a situation where they can have a peaceful ongoing of the good part of the society. So when we could apply this same analogy to us in the spiritual world, where we make the desire of being independent enjoyers, which is against our real self-interest, and by doing so, we will be creating a disturbance in the environment.
In the Leela, in the pastime, the Leela of Krishna. So we are put in a kind of prison, which is material world.
Here we have the opportunity to go back at any moment.
Material world is described as three things: playground, school, third one, school, playground, and prison. It is prison because there's some kind of suffering. It is a playground because you want to fulfill your desire. Do it here. I want to be a fish. I want to fly. I want to be like this. Can fulfill it. So prison, playground, school. School in the sense here again we can learn to love God and go back. So three things are, yeah, that's a good point. Addition. Okay, so I'll just summarize and conclude gradually that the whole topic here is this reality And that question may come, and it will come in movies and books. It may have crossed our mind at some time. So the view of Bhagavad Gita is that no, this is not reality. In fact, we left reality a long time ago when we came into this material world. And now we are living relative realities. One thing, I think this is real, this is mother, father, this is my country, this is my body, I am the body. But then next life changes. And so to come to the perfect reality, Bhagavad Gita explains that the whole reason is that we turned away from Krishna himself. And so for us to come out of the illusion, that verse we showed, this one actually, that when we turn to our constitutional position, which is devotional service to Krishna, then gradually the Maya withdraws and knowledge manifests in our heart. Knowledge will manifest who I am, that's called self-realization. We'll realize who I am and God realization. We'll realize who is God, and then we'll understand the reality. And that is the whole purpose of this Krishna conscious movement here in this conference, that we are performing this to come to the absolute truth, Param Satyam. Okay, so I'll end here. And I just want to tell all of you that whoever doesn't have Bhagavad Gita, please take a copy, read it gradually, read it 15, 20 minutes a day, half an hour. A lot of you have taken already your reading, some of you. So this knowledge will not be taught anywhere. We have to make endeavor to learn it. And if we don't have it, we are missing a very big part of life. Okay, so we'll have it on the book table upstairs. Okay. Now, those who are coming often, you remember that we were speaking about